It is estimated that 10 to 12 million people in the United States enjoy this craft. Did you know a simple quilt can light up your brain like a fireworks show? Quilting isn't just a cozy hobby. It's a full-on workout for your memory, focus, and creativity. A University of Glasgow study found that textile arts like quilting boosted participants' clear thinking, problem solving, and emotional well-being more than any other hobby. Welcome, bienvenidos. Yes, today we will be talking about the amazing benefits of quilting. I would like to give an hola shout out to all the quilters. Your craft needs to be acknowledged. We applaud you. Dr. Randy Cups from South Denver Cardiology explains that when you spend time on a hobby or something you enjoy that isn't about work, you give your mind a break. This shift to something fun and enjoyable is good for your well-being. As a result, your blood pressure and hypertension lower. Many quilters say that it can be incredibly relaxing, almost like being in a trance. Some psychologists call this feeling flow, where you forget your worries. The hands-on work of quilting calms your nerves and helps your body relax. When I think about it, when I sew clothes, it can be stressful because you have to worry about everything fitting. But quilting is different because a quilt will always fit. You spend lots of time using your feet, using the sewing machine when quilting. This must mean that quilting builds foot-eye coordination. Let's make the argument that quilting makes you a better driver. Quilting often involves easy and repetitive processes with hidden benefits. Harvard Medical includes sewing and knitting in its suggested activities to strengthen eye-hand coordination. Do you remember the fantastic feeling you last felt about helping someone or showing kindness? Quilters always get that feeling by giving baby quilts as gifts or quilts for charities and for the veterans or refugees, or donating a raffle quilt to a local library or other worthy organizations. Our guest, Lynn Lebeck, the Michigan State Coordinator for Quilts of Valor, definitely gets to experience this. Let's go chat with her. Vamos, let's go. Hello everyone and welcome back to Stir the Coco. I am very excited to introduce our guest, Lynn Lebeck, and she is the Michigan State Coordinator of Quilts of Valor. Welcome to the show, Lynn.
Well, thank you for asking me.
Well, we are excited to talk with you. First of all, tell us your journey on how you got involved with Quilts of Valor.
Well, like many people who've been around a long time, our journeys take us in many different directions. But I started sewing 7th grade home economics class back in the 60s, and you made some of your own clothes, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, married, had children, made Halloween costumes, sewing. You know, you sewed when you could, and of course, as a parent, there wasn't always a whole lot of time. But it was one of those things that I told myself I would eventually learn to quilt. So, you know, as time goes on and life goes on, you finally get to a point where you're like, okay, I want to get going with this. So, like many people, I knew how to sew. Did I know how to quilt? No. But a lot of quilt shops have classes, and I took my first class, and I can tell you, I definitely picked a pattern that was a little beyond my capabilities.
Uh-oh, well, we like that, out of the comfort zone.
I know. It's like you looked at it later and went, what was I thinking? But since then, of course, I've done a lot of quilts, and as many quilters find, when you're a quilter, after a while, you've already given quilts to everybody in your family, everybody that your husband works with who has a baby, you know. So Quilts of Valor then became a way to continue quilting but not end up with, what do I do with all these quilts? So it's a way to combine what you like to do, yet doing for others.
I love that combination. Yes, with the knitting, so many scarves you can make, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, I love how you found the next step and going forward with it. And when with quilting, did you find that it helped your emotional and cognitive well-being? What did you feel like?
Well,
when you were
there's no
quilting?
question. I mean, when you choose to do something, whether it's quilting, whether it's knitting, crocheting, whatever, there's a decrease in stress.
Yes.
Because it's a very, you know, it's calming, although there are some times when, as a quilter, you spend time with what's called a seam ripper.
Oh gosh!
When you get to re-sew something, and that is not exactly conducive to reducing stress. But overall, quilting is one of those activities that it engages the brain. It helps with focus, picking colors, looking at shapes, decreasing stress. There is some research out there that has shown that there is an association between those who sew or quilt or craft have a decrease in the incidence of dementia, because again, the brain is being involved. Whether it's knitting or quilting or solving puzzles, it's keeping the brain engaged.
And you know, when you said that, they say research shows that quilters get in a flow state. And they, you know, kind of get lost in their craft. Did you find that that happens with you?
Well, it depends upon what it is you're quilting.
Okay.
Because there are some patterns, you know, like some of the quilts that I'll show you that
Yes.
require attention to detail, because if you're not paying attention, the next thing you know, the block is turned sideways and you put it up on the wall and you go, oh,
and if it's the middle block,
of course.
you're done.
But there are other quilts that are relatively simple that you can just continue to sew and sew. And it does help just let everything else go. There's a sense of accomplishment, you know, and in Quilts of Valor, when you award a quilt to a veteran, trust me, I've never had a veteran say to me, I don't want that quilt, the points don't match. No, they are incredibly appreciative. I've awarded quilts to those I call the babies. Looks like they've just gotten out of high school.
Wow.
The oldest gentleman that I've awarded to was 105 years old at the time of the award.
Oh my gosh.
He was a pilot in World War II, told me, if I tell you what I did during the war, I'll have to kill you.
Whoa. Oh, whoa.
Okay.
Okay, here's your quilt.
I'm not the most physically fit person I know, but I was still pretty confident I could run faster than somebody who was 105. So I was okay. But my favorite ones to award are those who served during the Vietnam era, because as a country, we were awful about how they were treated when they came home.
No.
And that's why part of awarding a quilt is not only to say thank you for your service, but to say welcome home, because they didn't get the welcome they deserved.
And so let's piggyback on that. Is Quilts of Valor, is that its mission? Is that how did it start?
Quilts of Valor was founded by an Army mom by the name of Catherine Roberts.
Okay.
When her son Nat was deployed, like many military moms before her, she felt she needed to do something. So she and a small group of ladies got together and they decided that they would make quilts, because quilts bring healing and comfort. And even though it's sunny outside at 19 degrees, quilts bring warmth. And Quilts of Valor is to wrap veterans and active duty in comforting, healing quilts. Because this is something from person to person. It's not a military award. It is not a gift. We are not giving you a present. We are giving you an award from person to person. This is meant to be an award to say thank you for your service and welcome home. Quilts of Valor started with that small group of ladies making quilts. First one was awarded at Walter Reed Army Hospital in November of 2003.
Wow.
Since then, we've awarded over 430,000 quilts across the United States.
No,
Yes, you give quilters a
Yes.
good reason to go buy fabric, we're on it.
You're on there? Oh.
We're on it.
And you know, because then since it started so long ago, the tradition of community coming together to do this, there must be generations that
certainly
have been doing this.
I mean, quilting has been around for a very long time. At one point in the early days, it was pretty much a social activity where women, mostly women, because the men were out in the field working, would gather together in what they called quilting bees and work on quilts. And quilts take all sorts of different forms. And in the day, quilts were really a way to use outgrown or outworn clothing. They were made from clothing.
Oh.
They were made from feed sacks, and at one point the manufacturers actually printed the feed sacks with patterns because they knew those feed sacks were being used in that way.
Oh my gosh.
So it's been around a long, long time.
And sustainability, I mean, helping our earth, that's been happening for a while.
Exactly.
We didn't even know
It's
it.
called reuse, renew. Quilting often did that. It
I
really
love
was a
that.
way to keep, and quilting sometimes does run through generations, and sometimes it doesn't. There are a lot of people out there who don't understand the amount of work that goes into a quilt.
Yes.
And I admit, before I started quilting, I was one of those people. My grandmother would probably shoot me if she knew what happened to some of her applique bedspreads.
Oh, no. Shh.
We won't tell her.
We won't tell it. All stays here. So the process, like you mentioned, picking out the fabric, all the stuff that is involved, that is mental practice, mental gymnastics to work on a quilt, the whole process.
Well, it can be as complicated as you want to make it. Now, there are people that are what I call the art quilters.
Okay.
Those are the displays that you probably saw when you looked
we
at
went
some
to the
of those.
expo,
And
yeah,
went,
Novi Expo.
even
yeah.
as a quilter, I look at those and go, those are magnificent. I will never do one.
Yeah, you couldn't tell if it was a painting or not from a distance.
Exactly. And you can just imagine some of those quilts were thousands of hours of work.
Wow.
My quilting philosophy with Quilts of Valor is reflected in the name of my group. It's called Done is Better Than Perfect.
Okay. So
A
you
quilt
have
that is done, like I said, no veteran has ever said that quilt's
Yes.
not perfect, I don't want it. So quilts need to be finished. Otherwise, they become what we call UFO, unfinished objects.
Oh, no. No, you don't want
No, no, we have enough of those around.
that. And tell me, when you get together with your group, what is that environment like? Because, you know, we always talk about the brain, socialization is really important. Is this can this be a social environment?
It can take place in many different forms.
Okay, tell us
Now,
about
there
that.
is the nearest quilt group that meets in person of Quilts of Valor is located in Clawson.
Okay.
It's called Stitching Sisters. It was founded by three sisters and a friend of theirs. They meet once a month at the Clawson City Hall. And not only are we meeting to make Quilts of Valor, we usually actually award Quilts of Valor that afternoon where veterans come.
Oh.
But one big part of it is the potluck.
Oh.
We eat well.
Oh.
So quilters can be very social, but on the other end,
Yes.
my quilt group is actually virtual. We
Oh.
never actually meet. This allows those who would rather work as individuals,
Okay.
who aren't interested in meeting up in groups, to be able to participate. So
I
that's
love
what's
that.
important.
Yes.
Because not everybody wants to come out
Yeah, or
and
can. They have
or
the
can
means.
and
Yeah.
come with a group.
Yes.
By the virtual group, I have women who all they want to do is make 12.5-inch red, white, and blue blocks.
Okay.
Okay. They make them, they
Yeah.
send them to me, I get them finished, I get the quilts done, I get them awarded.
Wow.
I have some that want to make the whole quilt top. That's all they want to do. They send it to me. Likewise, I get it finished and awarded. So there's a lot of different ways that quilters participate. Sometimes it's very much the in-person social interaction.
Yes.
But with the advent of Facebook and internet and all of those,
Yes.
sometimes the participation is virtual, which then opens it up because there are people in my quilt group from all over Michigan, some of whom are not quilters, but they award quilts to veterans for me.
Oh, so they all have a purpose. Everyone can have a purpose, whatever it is,
Yes.
making the squares or...
Exactly.
Well, let's talk about the process because we have these adorable sewing machines. I'm really loving this one. Tell us, what do we have here?
Well, what we have here are two, they're referred to as featherweights.
Okay. Are they literally featherweight?
They are lightweight compared to many modern machines. These
Okay.
were made, the Singer Manufacturing Singer Sewing.
Oh, yes.
They first started producing the featherweights. Now they've been making sewing machines since well into the early 19th century.
Yeah.
But these were produced starting in 1934.
Wow.
And they were produced through the 1960s. They were called featherweights because they were literally marketed that you could pick it up and take it to your sewing group.
Oh.
Now, these in particular, this one has been refinished where you see a patriotic theme.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it called to
I
me.
see that.
No surprise. This one was one that I actually had refurbished, restored, and painted in my favorite color.
Oh my God, it's a great favorite color.
There are many of us out there, and many of us are quilters because, again, the fact that it's lightweight and easy to take to sewing.
Wow.
It's a wonderful little machine. It just does straight stitches. There are some attachments, but
Yeah,
as
but
quilters, it does what we need it to do.
So it's not complicated or intimidating if someone wanted to
No,
start.
and you know, again, sewing has progressed, obviously. Even the relatively inexpensive beginner starting sewing machines have a lot of features.
Absolutely.
And I mean, certainly quilting can be overwhelming for the beginner.
Okay.
The best thing to do is
Yes,
look
tell
for
us.
quilt shops that have sewing classes,
Okay.
quilting or machines, sewing machine stores often offer
Oh,
classes.
that's something that people probably don't think of.
Sometimes it's through community education. Sometimes, I mean, we've had people join Stitching Sisters who didn't know how to quilt, and we kind of took them under our wings, and now they
they're
quilt.
So there is a place to start because
There
some
is a place
people-
to start, and if you're smart, you pick patterns that are not difficult.
That's great advice from
It
Lynn.
is, because when you're starting out, there's a good reason why you start with something simple.
And that's with anything, and then you build up. And actually, I wanted to talk about this one because you had mentioned, is our T-shirts? in
These are
here?
T-shirts. This
So
is,
tell
this
us
is
about this.
referred to as a T-shirt quilt because you take shirts or clothing or whatever of something that means something to you or someone else.
Yeah.
And you literally stabilize the T-shirts because we know T-shirts stretch,
Oh
and
my
we don't want
gosh.
that to do that.
Oh.
So you stabilize them and you put them together in a quilt. This is a T-shirt quilt that represents the things that my husband loves, the Tigers, the Red Wings, and Corvettes.
Nice.
And he's a double chip, so there's Chippewas fabric in it. But this is one way
this one
that
type.
people keep memories alive. Sometimes
Yes.
they make it out of someone's clothing, but there's all sorts of different things that can be done with quilts.
I love that, and it just stays in their heart forever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's share a couple others, Lynn. I've got here, you have a holiday quilt. Tell us, are these going to somebody or?
No, these are quilts that I've had for quite some time.
Okay.
This is called Rectangle Windows.
Okay.
And as you can imagine, it's a pretty simple pattern.
So
It's
this is a good
This is
starter?
a good starter. This just
Okay.
happens to have been made from a lot of St. Patrick's fabric that I have because
Good for scrap fabric then.
absolutely. And so sometimes it's just, oh my goodness, I really need to make a quilt for this holiday, and we sometimes do that. And sometimes it's like the fabric tells you what needs to happen with
I
it.
love it. So it speaks to you. And I have a question. This is all made with the sewing machine? Like,
Well,
or I've always wondered what all these designs.
quilting
they put.
can be done on a domestic machine. It's not easy.
Okay.
But most quilters, or those who are really into it, have what's called a long arm machine. When you look at a machine like this, the distance
Yes.
between the needle and here is referred to as the arm.
Oh.
Long arm machines can be 18 to 26 inches. So you
always
can,
wanted to
the
do that.
difference is domestic sewing, you move the fabric. The
Yes.
machine stays steady. When you're
Yes.
talking about long arms, it literally sits on a rolling frame where the quilt and the fabric are steady.
Yes.
You move the machine.
Oh.
And that's where you get the pattern.
And in this one, oh my gosh, Lynn, you were telling me.
Yeah,
there's some,
you have to look closely
Yes, I
because
don't know if
what's
we'll pick
in
up
this,
on camera,
yeah,
but-
probably not. But there's actually the Block M, Michigan Block M, stitched in the stitching that holds the layers together.
Oh my goodness.
So not only is it made from, you know, University of Michigan fabric,
Yes.
but it has
The M's
the
and- oh, yeah,
M's.
here it
there's
is.
one, and
Yes.
here's one.
This is fun to
Stitch
spot.
right in it.
Oh, this is great. Well, we probably have time for one more. Do you want to share what you've got on your side, Lynn?
Okay.
You've got a
Well-
lot of amazing things.
This is another one of those holiday ones, but one
Okay.
of the reasons I selected to bring this
Yes.
is
Why
because,
is it special to you?
well, it's made from, it's called a panel quilt. Because you see this center area here?
Yes.
It came that way.
Oh.
This is a panel. And then all you've done is add borders and a little bit of interest around it. So this is another good one for a beginner because it's not a lot of intricate piecing.
This is beautiful. And always the other side, is this just another piece of
It's a different fabric because
Yes,
a quilt is made of a top, the batting, that's
Okay.
the layer in the middle that has the warmth, and then a backing. And then the stitching is done through all three layers, and then it's bound to protect the edges. And that's the difference between a quilt and a blanket. So for Pete's sake, don't ever call something like this a blanket.
No, now we know. From this point forward, we are educated. And how long does, how long would this take? Approximately?
Well, you know,
people
part
probably
of it,
want to know.
Yeah, part of it depends upon how much time you actually have continuously to work.
Okay.
This might be, you know, maybe 6 to 8 hours total.
Okay.
But sometimes it takes longer because you kind of have to get back to, okay, where was I? What's my next step? And especially if you have to bring
Make
everything
dinner or do
out,
something.
yeah, dinner or the laundry or
Yeah.
whatever else you have to do. So quilting, like I said, some of those art quilts are thousands of hours. Others, 5, 10 hours, sometimes more. This is another one of what I call, it's sort of a panel quilt, but this center
wow.
portion here
Colorful.
is what I call cheater fabric. The fabric actually came this way.
Oh.
I didn't do all these hearts.
Okay.
It came this way, and I put borders on it. And trust me, some veteran's going to love it.
Where is this headed? Do you have a recipient for this?
I don't have an individual, but I have 2 group presentations. One in January that's 8 veterans I'm presenting to.
Okay.
Another one that's 7. So there's always somebody to receive the quilt.
And what is that moment when you hand them their quilt? Explain to us that moment when you're handing them their quilt.
It's even more than that because part of awarding a Quilt of Valor with the veteran's permission is to wrap the veteran in their quilt. Give them a big hug and say thank you for your service and welcome home.
Wow.
And I got to tell you, I have made grown men cry.
Oh my God, I'm getting chills. Stop, Lynn.
I know. The first few times I did it, I could barely get through it.
Oh, yes.
But yes, it brings a tremendous amount of joy to see what other people think of being presented or awarded this quilt because Some of these become family heirlooms.
Oh my goodness.
They designate who's going to get it after they're gone.
Oh my goodness.
We've had reports of veterans being buried with their quilts.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
We've
this
had
is,
it. We've had it where the quilt is on display at funerals, or that the coffin is draped in it. So these mean a lot.
It goes more beyond just sewing.
Just the fabric and
Yes.
sewing. Yes.
No.
It really is something that it brings them joy.
Yes.
But I got to tell you, it brings me just as much, if not more,
I can imagine.
joy. And to be able to do something that you really love to do,
Yes.
and have it so appreciated, you know, it's hard to describe that
I
feeling.
can imagine.
But once you get hooked on something like
Oh,
this,
I would not
oh, yeah,
stop. I mean,
absolutely.
to know where it's going to end up is just so rewarding.
Absolutely.
Well, wow. Well, on that note, let me see if I can regroup. I'm going to ask you a fun question related to quilters. So I'm going to grab. Oh, this is so warm. We could use a few today. It's a little chilly. Okay, this is the manzana, or apple.
Okay.
And here's my question, and then I'm going to teach you a Spanish word. So, because you know we're all about stirring our cocoa here.
Uh-huh.
All right, your question, Lynn. If you had to describe the quilting community as a holiday dessert, what dessert would it be and why?
I'm going to say Boston cream pie.
Ooh, tell us.
There's nothing in this world that isn't improved by chocolate. So there's your top layer.
But
Then there's the cream,
yes.
because everybody has a different taste. And then, of course, underneath there, that's the crust, because trust me, there are crusty quilters out there. They had a little bit of spice to everything. So
That is great. Well, wow. Thanks, Lynn. You knew that real quick. Well, here's your phrase, made with love, because obviously all these beautiful quilts are made with love. So here we go. It's 3 words. Ready? Hecho
con
con cariño.
cariño.
Good. That means made with love. Hecho
Hecho
con
con
cariño.
cariño.
Muy bien, Lynn. Well, good job.
De nada.
Oh, well, gracias for being here. And
My pleasure.
You're just doing beautiful things. And shout out to all your quilter friends.
Absolutely. And if somebody would like to,
Yes.
to nominate a veteran to receive a quilt,
Tell us.
as long as they cannot have had a dishonorable discharge.
Okay.
Could be general, it could be medical, it could be honorable. They need to go to the website, which is QOVF.org, which stands for Quilts of Valor
Good.
Foundation.
And we will put that in the show notes.
Absolutely.
People can click on it.
Click on Awards and Nominations and click on the link to nomination. Now what will happen is it then goes to the state coordinator of the state where the veteran lives.
Okay.
So someone can nominate in California, they could nominate someone who lives in Michigan.
Oh.
The nomination will come to me. I will then look to see if there is a local Quilt of Valor group that could make the award. Oh. If not, if it's in with reasonable distance, trust me, I put plenty of miles on my car.
Oh my gosh.
And during COVID, I even did many distance awards where I would send the quilt and the certificate, and when they received it, they would call me, or we would set up a Zoom meeting, and I would award it over the phone or over computer, because the important part is do whatever it takes to get the quilt to the veteran.
Love that. And so it's not impossible.
It's not impossible, no matter where they live.
Love that, and people
we will
should
get
know
a quilt
that.
to them.
So, well, thank you so much for your time, and
Thank you.
Gosh, we're cozy. So
Absolutely.
some hot chocolate. We're ready. All right. Thank you, Lynn, for being on the show.
Thank you.